Hey, welcome to Thoughtful Disagreements. I'm your host, Thomas Trapp. Today we're going to be looking at how communication plays a role in divisiveness, especially when, we choose what we're communicating and how we choose to communicate that. And we're going to be doing that by taking a critical look at Donald Trump's Oval Office announcement of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The reason I chose to do a critique of Donald Trump's announcement is because he's the president of the United States, and as the president, that's kind of the highest authority figure, or, what really should be setting the example for the rest of the nation in how we move forward from this crisis. I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to share it with your friends, like, comment, and subscribe as well. And now to the critique.
All right, so let's see what Trump has to say in his Oval Office address on Charlie Kirk's assassination.
My great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith. And we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace.
So far, so good. And I just gotta say, I did not know who Charlie Kirk was until this happened. And I didn't know what he, was doing. And I would love to get the opportunity to do that. To go out and talk to, college students and work with them on how to debate and discuss topics of, political ideology, differing beliefs with other individuals, so that they could do it in a manner that is, humanizing for both parts, and where we know how to look for, bad faith arguments like straw man arguments and using logical fallacies, and just work with kids so that they have the skills necessary to have these conversations, and to work with adults as well, so that we can all talk about things that we disagree on and still walk away being friends at the end, and knowing that we have the ability to come back and revisit that topic later if either one of us have a new idea or a new experience that we think might be relevant to the decision-making process on what you want to do regarding whatever the topic happens to be. So, yeah, I would love to do that. And so far, Trump's doing all right. Let's see how this keeps going.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly
Well, he's right. That that is what happens when you use that kind of rhetoric. However, where's the mention of those people on the right that do the same thing that he's talking about the people on the left? I've listened to a few episodes of Don Bongino. I've watched a little Gutfeld, and I have to tell you, they dehumanize people on the left the same as those on the left are doing it to the people on the right. They'll say things like that, they're libtards or they're sheeple, that liberals don't think for themselves, and that they're just do what the politicians tell them to do. And those things are not helpful. That takes away the humanity of that person having a decision or an idea. We have different ideas, and that's a beautiful thing with democracy. We need differences of opinion, because if we didn't have differences of opinion, there'd be no reason for us to vote. If we all wanted the same thing, voting would not be necessary. But we don't. We have different perspectives and different experiences, and we have different ideas and beliefs that arise from those experiences and from our education. And it is imperative that we be able to have conversations with one another where we can learn about why the other person feels the way they do. We have to humanize people on both sides if we want things like this to stop, because this is horrible. We should not have people killing each other over ideological beliefs. And we need to acknowledge that both sides are doing it. So maybe Trump picks up the ball here. Let's see.
Responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans.
Okay. Again, in order to not be divisive, in order to bring people together, we have to be completely open and honest with each other on what's going on in the world around us. And right here, Donald Trump has listed acts of political violence, some that were perpetrated against politicians and some against American citizens. And he went back as far as 2017 and looked at the shooting of Representative Scalise. So if we're going to go back to 2017 to talk about acts of political violence, why don't we list all the acts of political violence that happened from 2017 to present day and, break those down by what happened and, was the target of them a Republican or a Democrat? And I didn't arbitrarily pick 2017. Whoever wrote Donald Trump's speech, or, Donald Trump, if he, decided to do this, he chose to look at the attack on Scalise in 2017. So I used that as the starting date because that's the oldest one that he mentioned. So in that time period of 8 years, there were 12 acts of political violence committed against a politician or a person running for office. And here are a list of those 12. Of course, 2017, the shooting of the Republican Representative Scalise at the congressional baseball game practice. In October of 2020, the Democratic governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, there were 13 men who got arrested for plotting to kidnap her. We're skipping over January 6th, and then the next one after that is February of 2022, when the Democratic mayor of Louisville, Craig Greenberg, was shot at. Then we have in October of 2022, Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, was attacked with a hammer in their home. They're Democrats. Then in December of 2023, a New Mexico gentleman running as a Republican for a state representative seat lost his election and decided to hire 4 men to shoot at the residences of local Democratic officials. So those were attacks on Democrats. Then we have in January of 2024, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, a Republican. In September of 2024, we have the foiled attempt where they caught the guy outside Mar-a-Lago, again, Republican. October of 2024, the Arizona campaign office for Kamala Harris was shot at 3 times in 1 month, and that's still an act of violence. It's meant to intimidate and inspire fear. Even though those attacks happened overnight, there was still the evidence that they had happened with bullet holes in walls and in glass and in doors, and that's unacceptable. It's a form of intimidation. Then we have in April of this year, 2025, the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, his residence was set on fire. In June of 2025, we have in Minnesota, Melissa Hortman and her husband were shot and killed by a masked gunman, and the same gunman also shot State Senator John Hoffman and his wife multiple times at their home. So there's 2 separate instances of violence against Democratic political officials. And then, of course, that leads us to the one that happened just over a week ago in September of this year, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and he's a Republican. So, in my searching, looking solely for acts of violence committed against politicians, I found those 12 incidences over that 8-year period. I chose to leave January 6th out. If somebody really curious about it, hit me up, send me a message or something, and we can talk about it there. But 12 attacks, politically motivated attacks, and Trump mentions 4 attacks. And he only mentions attacks that were against Republicans. That's not how you bring people together. We have to acknowledge and accept that there are people on both sides. There are Republicans, there are Democrats, there are liberals and conservatives who all are behaving inappropriately and need to stop using bad faith language to describe each other and to characterize each other, and need to start humanizing each other and having good faith conversations about ideas and topics that we disagree on, so that we can start to mend and get rid of this rhetoric that's inspiring people to commit acts of political violence. I went back and looked through 2017, 12 acts, 4 against Republicans, 8 against Democrats. Failing to mention that is a divisive thing, and our president should not ever be trying to divide people. What do you got to say next?
To commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah.
So, I would love to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. It's very similar to other speeches that he's given before. And if we want to see a change in our country, we have to start speaking out as United States citizens, as the governed. We need to speak out and tell those media channels and media personalities that we do not want their divisive rhetoric. We want news, we want facts, we want talking points, but we don't want insults thrown around at people who have a different opinion. We have to make stations know that that's what we want, and if they don't listen to us, then we write the advertisers that buy ads on those stations, and we tell them we don't want them to support channels and media personalities that are creating divisiveness in our culture. That's what we can do as citizens right now, is call out those people that we watch when they're saying things that they shouldn't say and framing people, casting people in a light that's unfavorable and dehumanizing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please share it with your friends and family. The only way that we're going to mend the country is if we start talking to one another. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to talking again with you soon.